He's probably known best for his role as Johnny Taylor in Tracy Baker Returns and The Dumping Ground, but I know him for his love of Zelda and his toy photography on Instagram. Today I am talking here with Joe Maw to learn about his experience as an actor, maybe geek out about Zelda, and relate with each other through toy photography. So here he is, about to get revealed. This is a video part of an ongoing interview series that I like to call Revealed. As with every YouTube video, if you like what you see here, please help me appease to the algorithm by liking and subscribing if you want to see more. I have a list of guests lined up. I'll be doing this with ranging from artists to YouTube personalities to Twitch streamers, all involved somehow in the gaming industry. Hi, Joe. How are you doing?
Hi, yeah, good, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. I know we have quite the time difference with us basically being on opposite sides of the world. But you chose this, so thanks for taking the time to talk with me.
That's fine. I mean, I'm pretty much nocturnal these days anyway. So,
Yeah, everyone's
that's
time
absolutely fine. It's
schedule
just early.
is kind of messed up right now, I feel like. But it's exciting for I hear a message you got.
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and mute all them. If we've done that beforehand, I'm very sorry.
Oh no, you're popular. Um, it's exciting for me when I get to speak to someone that has a British accent. That's not something I hear too often in the US, uh,
Really?
unless I'm specifically searching for it. Um,
I've muted them now, sorry.
it's okay. The point of this
Yeah,
interview series is to show people a more human side of artists and creators, as it's something I feel like that can get lost when making content. So I hope to introduce people to your work, as when we initially connected through Instagram, I had no idea who you were, and I'd never heard of any of the shows you were on. So it's weird to find out how many forms of media that I miss out on because of where I'm located. I don't know.
yeah. I mean,
But
oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say that there's kind of a reason for that because when I started figuratively living, the point was to keep it separate from like my personal
Yeah,
um, social media. So yeah, that was done intentionally, which I might get onto later on.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
as,
So
as we,
I hope that the people that watch this or listen to this, whatever, either current fans of yours or people who don't know you, are able to see the Joe that they should know. So,
once they find out, they might go away again.
we'll see. So, you were born in England. Can you tell me what your childhood was like?
See, I was born in like a very small seaside town towards the north and then east of the country.
Yeah.
So nowhere near any of the big cities or anything like that.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I had a pretty just kind of standard childhood. Mum, dad, I got two brothers. I do have the misfortune of being the middle child.
Oh, me
So
too. I feel that struggle.
yeah, the struggle's real. You got the older brother, oh, he's too responsible to do anything, and then the younger brother, oh, he's too cute. So
Mm.
everything just falls to be to be my fault. But yeah, we despite that we got on really well. Me and my brothers, we'd spend many days in this. We were lucky to have a massive garden with a big stream running down the back, and it kind of ran through all the neighbours' bottoms of their gardens as well. And I don't know whether we were supposed to or not, but we just treated that entire little river as ours. um, even the bit from other people's gardens. So yeah, we just spent most of our days running around there, pretending we were ninjas, free running across all the stepping stones on the in the stream there, and
Yeah.
coming back home absolutely filthy.
Yeah. I don't have any experiences like that when I was a kid, but I remember many like water balloon fights in our front yard with my neighbors.
Yeah, we had. I just remember this one time, and I don't think it happened very often. There's only one that I can recall where we had like a whole street-wide water fight. we're talking water balloons, we're talking like the super soaker type things.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where people were just bringing out like glasses of water and buckets and they could get their hands on.
And
And it
just
was like
get the garden hose and spray
I'm pretty
everyone.
sure someone did actually get the hose pipe. So yeah, anything we could get our hands on, just sponges, just wet sponges, just lobbing at people. It's great.
Oh, good times. So the first thing that you're credited for on IMDb is a short called Fawn, where you played lead boy. But then I took a deeper dive on the internet and discovered something earlier called The Three Cowls, where you were Simon Cowell.
How did you find that?
I will not reveal my secrets. So what the heck was this? Was this your first experience acting? Did you ever do like community theater?
So that's okay. So I started out doing community theatre, or as we call it over here, AMDRAM, amateur dramatics. And yeah, so literally, it's a funny story. If we're going all the way back to the beginning, then I got into acting because, and this just sounds really lame, my mum was into all the AMDRAM stuff, and my dad was into his athletics and running, and so he was at like the running club, and him and my older brother were at running club one night, and my mum had a rehearsal for her show at the Amateur Dramatics Society, and she couldn't get a babysitter for me, and so she just kind of brought me along to the rehearsal. I was about 4 years old at this point in time, and turns out one of the kids from the show had dropped out. So because I was there one night, they just kind of stood me in his place. Not like I didn't have to do anything at all apart from stand there. But yeah, I ended up doing the show because of that. And then the next year, when the next show came around, my mum was like, "Oh, you seem to enjoy it last year. Do you want to do it again?" And so that I said yeah, and that's how I got into doing shows and into acting and everything. So yeah, from a pretty young age, I always wanted to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do like drama and stuff in school, but unfortunately, like all the schools I went to didn't have drama programs, so I never.
It really, one of the things that winds me up is how little value schools and people place on drama and stuff. Because I know, like, in the grand scheme of things, an actor is never going to be as important in society as like a doctor or a nurse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do think there is definitely a place for entertainment and for people like doctors and nurses to go to just switch off and chill out for a bit, and that's where actors come in, and I don't think people get enough credit for it.
Yeah,
but that's another story which I could go on for a long time about. That would be a whole different kind of show.
Yeah. I did bands. Like I played music. That's what we had. That's all we had. But it was fun. So I'm not familiar at all with the Tracy Baker universe. I did before, like a few days ago. I watched like the top like 8 scenes or something from the I'm sorry, I've forgotten the dumping grounds, like the top most dramatic scenes, and you were in like the third one.
Not funny.
But I read that it was originally a book series, and then the TV show happened, and a bunch of spin-off series came to life. So, could you enlighten me and the people listening that don't know, give us like a synopsis and tell us who Johnny Taylor is?
So I'll start with the book series. Was written, and it's set in a children's care home, and the book series was called The Story of Tracy Baker, and this Tracy Baker was the main character. And when it first came out, Tracy was one of the kids in the care home, and when I joined into it, Tracy had grown up. She was an adult by this point in time. And so they kind of did a reboot of the show where Tracy came back to the dumping ground, which is what the kids called the care home. She came back to work there as one of the carers. And so by the time that happened, my character, Johnny Taylor, was one of the kids living in the care home at the time when Tracy was the care worker. And it's just, we got up to all sorts of shenanigans really all the time. The main goal was for obviously the kids to get fostered or adopted. That was the be all and end all of what they wanted. But on top of that, it was mainly just a drama about what happens when you get a load of young people living together, as you can imagine the chaos that will ensue.
Yeah, I saw like I don't know, there were drawings and stuff kind of like encapsulating each of the characters. So I assumed it was like some like happy kids show, and then I
Yeah, it's kind of it had its moment. It was a bit of everything because I think they tried to get away from it being too overtly happy and kiddie because, like I say, when I joined it, it was a reboot. So Tracy was an adult, which means that the people who were kids when they watched the original series with her in it as a kid were now kind of also getting towards slightly being adult / late teens. And we were trying to appeal to them as well as the new audiences. So we had a few kind of serious bits as well. There was an episode where my sister in the show got fostered and my character didn't, and it was like the whole thing of splitting up two siblings, and that was quite an emotional episode for a kids TV program.
yeah.
Obviously it had its light-hearted moments, but yeah, they did tackle some pretty good stuff as well.
Yeah. So the dumping ground is still ongoing, is that right?
It is, yeah. I've not been in it for a good few years now. I think it's been about 5 or 6 years since my character left, because there's only so long you can be in a kids' care home before you don't look like a kid anymore.
Yeah. Have they ever like tried calling you back for like a cameo?
I did do a cameo once, actually. There was a kind of special episode where they were trying to close the dumping ground down, the council were. And so they called back a load of ex-residents to try and help save the dumping ground. So I did go back for a cameo episode once. And if anybody from the show is watching this, I'd definitely go back again.
So I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to relate you with video games other than being a fan of Zelda, but I learned that you were in 2 FMV video games. The Shape-Shifting Detective and Dark Knights with Poe and Munro.
That's right, yeah. So Dark Knights with Poe and Munro was just kind of more of a cameo. You didn't even see me. It was a voice role. I was just on the phone, so I was just a voice that you heard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw like your acting reel. I think that was in it.
Oh, yeah. So you probably saw my really embarrassing Scottish accent on for that one, which we won't talk about. It was really cool. It came out on Nintendo Switch, and so to curl up on the couch with my Nintendo Switch and play a game that I myself was in was like, yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah. I can imagine it was like fairly similar to like your regular acting work. It's just like
kind of, but also different, because with 99.9% of acting work, they want you to pretend that the camera doesn't exist, and so you look anywhere but the camera, because it's like the camera is this object that's not within the universe, so the scene happens around it. Whereas with the FMV video game, the camera kind of was the player, so the camera was shot from the player's point of view, so you would have to like talk directly at the camera as if the camera was the person that you were talking to. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it was weird, kind of laser focusing down the camera lens rather than doing everything that I could to avoid it. That was a bit weird.
Yeah. I guess for those who aren't familiar with FMV games but have heard of titles like Night Trap and Phantasmagoria, that's what you can compare them to. Have you ever wanted to go into specifically voice acting?
Do you know, it's gonna probably get when we get onto the Zelda stuff later on. Zelda Universe, they do the fan dubs of all the games, don't they?
Yeah.
And I auditioned for that 1 year when they did the Breath of the Wild one.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get in.
I think they're doing another. I think they're doing Skyward Sword pretty soon.
Ooh, might get onto that then and send another tape off. But yeah, I would love to do that because I mean, like what we're here for. I am a big fan of video games, and voice acting, motion capture as well would be cool. But yeah, to get a voice into a video game that was pretty big would be amazing.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to do. keep on at it and hope somebody somewhere thinks, this guy might be worth taking a chance on.
Yeah, I feel like it's a hard industry to break into if you're not like well known already.
Yeah, it feels that way a lot of the time, and it's funny because everyone like within the industry kind of says about, we try to be so inclusive. It's like, You sure about that? Because it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. So now you're going to school for a law degree. What inspired that?
in all honesty, we'll be perfectly honest, because of, like we said, how hard of a career acting can be to pursue, I basically wanted to get a backup plan for in like 20 years time when I'm there as a washed up old actor that's never done anything other than Tracy Baker. I might eventually turn around and go, maybe I should get a proper job. And I figured if I was going to do that, then having a law degree would be a pretty handy thing to have. I feel like with a law degree, you can kind of go anywhere and be like, hey, can you hire me? And hopefully someone somewhere will.
Yeah, and then you can like defend yourself if you get into trouble.
Yeah. I know all about trespassing laws, so I can just turn up on a set and walk onto the scene. And when they tell me that I can't be there, I can just quote some kind of legislation and say,
right, exactly. And then you can be in any show that you want.
Can you imagine?
So why did you start doing toy photography?
It's quite a funny story, actually. So I was in Manchester in the UK, and I saw there was a shop called Travelling Man, and it had the Breath of the Wild Link Nendoroid in the window, and I was like, I've got to have it. But Nendoroids, anyone who knows that they're pretty expensive, especially for a student at the time as well. So I thought to myself, right, well, I'll tell you what, the way I will justify making this purchase is I'm going to use it to improve my photography skills. And so in my head, I was able to justify spending 70 quid on this Link figure because I need it to help me practice photography. I'd seen Captain Jones's work on, I think she was like, the most well-known famous one that I was like, yeah, that's, so I was like, yeah, I'll try and have a go at that and better my photography skills. And so basically my entire Instagram page, Figuratively Living, came about by me trying to justify buying this Link figure.
Yeah.
And so I've just gone down the rabbit hole and I've got so many now.
Do you have, I know you have Sonic and do you have other Nendoroids?
I've got a few.
Link?
I'm very bad at storing them. I'll show you my storage for the Breath of the Wild Link Nendoroid that I was mentioning.
Oh no, I'm scared.
That's how.
No, how could you? How could you do this? I don't know if you've seen my shelves, but I have them all in the boxes still. They're not like properly displayed. They're just stuck in the boxes.
Fair enough. I think the thing is, because anytime I leave the house, I take one of them with me just on the off chance that there's like a picture somewhere I can take. And so I always need them to be ready to go just in case. So I just kind of have them all in these little Tupperware boxes, and then I can just take the entire box, shove it in my rucksack, and then I can leave the house.
Yeah.
And if I see any cool viewpoints, I'm like, oh, we'll take a picture in front of that.
That works.
So that's why they're so badly stored. I've got the Harry Potter Nendoroid and also the Rey Nendoroid. I've also got Nathan Drake and Mario, as well as Young Link, and then Breath of the Wild Link and Sonic.
Yeah, as long as you have all the links, then you're good.
I've not got Toon Link yet.
Oh, I need to
never find Toon Link.
That was one of the first ones that I got.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. I want Toon Link and Toon Zelda as well, because I imagine you can do so many cool pictures.
No.
Sorry, I meant to...
With Toon Zelda, you really have to be careful because like something with the paint, they like didn't seal it properly, so all of the gold pieces just like spread all throughout her body, and it's so disappointing. I hope they like re-release it with it fixed.
I was gonna say, do you reckon they'll re-release it and like fix those issues?
Yeah.
I've got the Jack Sparrow Nendoroid pre-ordered as well for, I think that comes out in October. But I've been excited for that one for ages, because you remember for the longest time they had this picture of it, just like a cartoon. It wasn't even like a thing, or not even a prototype. It was just like the concept art for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that one looks so cool. And yeah, I didn't even know if it was going to be a thing, and then they announced it, so I was like, pre-order that.
Yeah, I feel like it was an issue with like licensing or like doing.
To be honest, I thought it was to do with all the Johnny Depp controversy. I was like, I'm not even going to make it, but I'm so glad that they are, because #justice for Johnny Depp and all that stuff.
Yeah, a lot of my pre-orders have been getting delayed, and I mean I understand why, but I'm not about it.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because it's like with everything going on, still, it's kind of like can't really complain, but at the same time, I feel like I've got a right to complain
Yeah.
because if it's not going to be out, don't tell us that it is. But yeah.
So who are some toy photographers that you would like to learn from, other than
Oh,
Kylie?
I was going to say she's the obvious one. I would say, oh, there's so many. Um, is it Curious Herring as well? I think Alice, she's called.
Mm-hmm.
She has some amazing shots, but I've not actually seen her active that much recently. I wonder if she's taken some time off.
Yeah.
There is a lot of ones that like, because mine are quite cartoonified. I don't know if it's just because of the nature of the characters that I use, but there's some that look uber realistic. They tend to be all Star Wars ones, but like you'll see them with like the stormtroopers posed, and there's like real explosions going off in the background,
Yeah.
and they look so, like it looks like a screenshot from the movie, and then it's like no, actually that's a figure. I can see the joints, and those guys are like on a whole other level,
Yeah.
which it would
Yeah.
be really I'd love to know how they do it, but I have no idea.
There are a lot of people that I know the Star Wars toy community is huge, and
Yeah.
there's I don't follow a whole bunch of them. It's hard for me to find people that I like. I don't know. Like I'm very specific. Like if you don't like interact with me, I'm probably not gonna follow you. Like if you just like leave comments with like heart emojis, you know how people do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I tried to reply to all my comments, but then it's like sometimes you see it, it's like, how do I reply to that? So I just put smiley faces back on. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
there's not really much I can say to that, but I'll
Right.
try.
I just want like genuine people, you know.
Mm. Is that
Um
so much to ask?
I don't know. I think so, probably. So, you started sculpting clay figures. How are you doing with that?
uh, okay. Oh, can I show you my most recent one?
Yeah.
It, it's not finished yet. It's a work in progress. I've been watching a lot of North of the Border and like Studson Studios on
Yeah,
YouTube,
I love them.
um, and they are absolutely fascinating to me. But I've been trying to not just sculpt clay but also resin, and so this is my most recent one, inspired by The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker.
Oh, that's
You've got
cool.
the castle underwater, and then a teeny tiny king of red lions floating on
Yeah,
top.
I saw you. Did you put it on Facebook? I saw the boat earlier
Yeah, well, I
somewhere.
put it on my Instagram story and on a Zelda group on Facebook, just the
Hmm.
boat, because I was quite for how small it is. I'm quite impressed with how it turned out. If I do say so
Yeah,
myself.
it's
Um,
very small.
it was a nightmare to make with my shaky hands. I will
Oh,
tell you that.
I believe it.
And then yeah, I cast the castle in resin as well to make it look like it was underwater. It's not finished yet, but I'm quite happy with how it's looking.
Yeah.
I've been showing
Uh,
anyone who will look. To
I do not have the patience to learn to do that.
be fair, I've not really because I've not been taught anything. I've just what happens is I get like obsessed with something and I just watch millions of YouTube videos about it. Like I
Hmm.
say, I've been watching North of the Border, Studson Studios, Nerd Forge. I watch loads of stuff and see how they do it, and then eventually I'll go, oh, I'll have a go.
Yeah.
And chances are it'll turn out rubbish the first time, but then I don't know, just keep messing about with it.
Have you ever seen I think it's Dr. Garuda.
No, I don't think I've seen that.
No, he sculpts like legit clay figures. He's done a few Zelda related ones.
Oh wait, do the one of Link from Breath of the Wild, and it was like a brown sculpture.
Yeah, he does. He'll like draw it out first and then get
Yeah.
some wire.
I think I did see that one.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I like his
it's,
stuff.
it's so clever, and it kind of ties back into my photography as well. Because it's like if I don't have a figure of something, I'm trying to get to a point where I can just make the figure. I made a user fan member for my Breath of the Wild link, and I was really proud of that one.
Let's see. Have you how have you been doing with the pandemic? What's changed for you, and like what kind of things have you learned?
Oh, wow. Um, I was never the most social person, to be completely honest. So when everything was closed, but over here we were still allowed to go out once a day for exercise and that kind of stuff. So I could still get out, go for a long walk. I could still take my pictures, all that kind of stuff. So that not like in that regard, not a lot changed really. Obviously, you could still go to all the essential shops. So the only real thing that was different is like not being able to go into town to browse in the game shop or anything like that. Um, I'd say the hardest thing for me and my wife now, she was fiance at the time, but now wife, um, was the fact that we couldn't go see our families because we've moved to a different city for university. And so not being able to go back home and visit them was probably like the hardest part. But that's kind of eased off and we can go see them now. So that's all kind of coming back around. It doesn't feel too different now. It's like I feel like we've reached a new normal, if that makes sense.
Uh,
It's not quite how it was. I hope it goes back, but like at the moment, it just kind of feels like it's leveled out a little bit, and it just feels like, yeah, this is how it is.
yeah, I feel it. I don't know. I feel it getting worse like now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you've been keeping up with like numbers or anything, but like definitely people. I think I saw like 50%, close to 50% have gotten vaccinated in the US at least. And it's just like I just do it, you know?
Yeah, I, I I tell you what. Oh, have I got a story for you? I had my second dose of the vaccine just last week, and
Mm,
it knocked me for six. Honestly, I was ill. Like I thought I'd caught it. In all
yeah,
honesty, it was brutal. But then, literally the next day, I was absolutely fine. It was so weird.
yeah.
But yeah,
I had a similar experience. I don't like. Do they have the same vaccines out there? Is it Pfizer and Moderna still?
yeah. So I had Moderna, and
Okay.
I'll tell you what, is the first one didn't bother me at all. I didn't even feel it, and then the second one, it got me good.
Yeah, I felt it both times. I felt like I literally had the flu and like I was dying.
Yeah, I well, it was funny because I was all set to go into work anyway, despite how bad I felt. Like I felt like death warmed up, but I was like, oh, I've got to go, I've got to go. And I made a cup of tea on in the morning, and I couldn't taste it when I was drinking it. I was like, oh no, it's happening. And so I rang my boss. I was like, look, I've made a cup of tea. I can't taste it. I'm feeling really dodgy. I went and had one of the lateral flow tests, and it came back negative. So I was like, it's literally just the vaccine.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was weird. And I was fine the next day. So it
yeah.
literally came in went within 24 hours.
I don't know about you, but like I'm definitely like a hypochondriac. So even if like the smallest thing is off about me, I think I'm dying.
I tend to more adopt. This is probably a very bad way to do it, but I adopt more the approach of ignore it and hope it goes away. And if not, guess that's me done.
Uh,
I hate going to the doctors. It freaks me out.
oh yeah,
But yeah, I guess this is it. It's probably a
sweet,
very bad way to do it. So
sweet release.
I don't encourage that.
No. Okay, so something more positive. What has been your proudest moment so far in life?
Can I choose two?
Yes.
That's stretching. Okay, I was going to say, I think that's a bit of a stretch. So one of them, and this is kind of like a selfish one. So one of them was the moment where my leaving episode, my grand finale of Tracy, the dumping ground.
Hmm.
It was called Dragon Slayer. It was my big kind of hurrah, my last hurrah when my character left. It got nominated and won an RTS award, which is the Royal Television Society, and it won an award for best drama.
Oh,
And that was kind of like my wow, that's it. I've done it. That was really cool.
yeah.
That's like my proudest moment career wise, I would say. But then personally, I would say, oh God, at the risk of sounding really cheesy, it was when I was stood at the top of the aisle. I turned around and saw Courtney walking up it towards me on her way to say, I do.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, that was honestly so kind of like, I don't know. I'm a pretty soppy person anyway, so I teared up.
Yeah, I would too. I would definitely. Did you get like a physical award or like does someone else own it?
So someone else, it was the producers that went, because it was the episode where I left, so I count it as my episode, but it was just kind of the show in general that kind of won. But the episode that they picked it from was mine, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was all because of you. We'll just say that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. No, it was kind of like the award itself was just for, like I said, the show in general. So the actors, the crew, the production, everyone. It just so happened that the clips that they showed were from my episode,
Yeah.
but they could have picked the clips from any episode, and it would have still gone down the same way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. I think that was like the icing on the cake for me.
What do you think the biggest misconception of you is?
Oh God. The biggest misconception of me is probably that I am cool.
Cool.
So I try to put on this facade of like, yeah, I'm a cool guy. Oh, well, yeah, I'm not bothered. But really, I'm just a massive geek. I'm a nerd.
I've seen through that. I know
It's,
who you are.
I think that's it. And this kind of comes back to what I was mentioning earlier, but it almost feels like I've got kind of two online personas. So there's my personal account, which is Joe Maw 97. And that's where I just put like pictures of me, Courtney, my dog Ryder, anything to do with acting. That all stays over there, and that's the one where I'm like, all right, okay, well, you know, on the off chance that a casting director saw this, or that, you know, someone sees this, it's like, okay, so this is the version of me that I want people to see. And then the real version of me is just a big geek who sits around wearing Zelda t-shirts and, you know, plays with toys for fun.
Yeah.
But that's not the so yeah, I think the biggest conception of me, in answer to your question, that was a very long-winded answer, is yeah, I try to make people think that I'm a lot cooler than what I actually am.
Well, I think you are cool, despite what you think.
Some might argue that I'm cool because of how geeky I am, and
Yeah.
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I guess this is probably an obvious answer, but can you, like, I wrote down, has anyone ever recognized you in public? But like, yeah, I'm sure that's happened. Can you like tell me, I don't know, an instance where it was just like absolutely insane?
So okay, an absolutely insane one was I got invited one time to go to an event called Star Football, I think it was. Now I should put as a disclaimer that I am absolutely terrible at football, or soccer to you Americans. But yeah, so I got invited to this Star Football event, and the demographic for people that were there were kind of like, you know, the sort of thing where like when TikTok was just about starting and people had about maybe between 1,000 and 10,000 followers. And then I was kind of there, and I hate sounding like, you know, really self-important, but I was there as this person who'd been on a pretty popular TV show. And so as soon as I turned up, all of the fans at that event were just like, swamped me. And it was quite fortunate actually, because that happened. I didn't actually have to play a single game of football because I was too busy talking to everyone. So that was like, I don't know, because I try not to feel famous as often as I can. That sounds really, even just saying it sounds horrible. But yeah, that was one time where I actually felt it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, it's like, because to me, I'm just a guy from Scarborough who like no one needs to care about, and so it is very bizarre when someone notices me as that guy from that show that they were absolutely obsessed with. And I'm always happy to talk to people about it, which happens more often than I would think, considering I left it like 5 or 6 years ago. I still, like, even to this day, get people coming up to me and asking me about it. It's always nice.
Yeah, I mean, like you were very much in the public eye, and maybe you are very recognizable. I don't know. But like compared to someone like Kylie, like I don't know. I feel like some people that follow her don't really know what she looks like unless they like closely follow her, you know?
I think the beauty with Kylie's situation is because she's become like immensely popular online without even having to show her face, because it's her art that people are in love with,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really cool. And that's kind of why I kept Figuratively Living separate from my personal account. I might as well get into this now. So basically, because a lot of the, like, on my Joe Maw, my normal account,
Oh,
is that me?
it's your second interview.
I am so sorry. But yeah, because I am kind of known as playing this character and people kind of recognize me from that, what I find is that when I put a picture up, it could be completely like, it could be a picture of anything. And the comments are just always just about the dumping ground and like, oh, what was it like filming? And I'm always happy to answer questions on it. But when I started Figuratively Living, I wanted to think that the people who were liking my pictures and the people who were commenting them on the pictures were doing so because they actually liked the stuff that I was making, not just because they knew who I was and they wanted to get a reaction. And so that's why I've kept the two separate all this time, is because, like, I mean, I've got I think Figuratively Living's just past 1,500 followers, which, you know, compared to some of the folks out there is peanuts. But it's nice to think that each one of those people has followed my account because they like the pictures that I'm posting up, or my little sculptures, or, you know, my picture of Link. It's just nice to think that the people who liked those pictures liked it because they actually thought it was a good picture, not
Right.
just because Johnny Taylor from Tracy Baker put it up, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
looking at your personal account and I noticed that you posted um your like first Link picture on there, and I was looking at the comments. I was like, they don't really care about Link here.
That's it. And I think, to be fair, I think putting that one picture up and seeing the reaction that it got is what made me make Figuratively Living. I was like, right, okay, I want to do this as a hobby. I want to get into it, and I want to have fun doing it. I'm gonna have to keep it separate, because otherwise, I'm just never gonna kind of, I don't know. It's nice to geek out with like-minded people on Figuratively Living and not have people kind of wondering who I am, or do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know. It's kind of like the geeky version of Hannah Montana in my head.
Okay. Well, maybe you'll be as iconic as Miley Cyrus one day. We'll see.
I somewhat doubt that.
um so like what kind of projects would you like to work on in the future? I know like you have your law school thing going on and you're doing clay things. But do you have anything else in mind?
I'm a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
I think my main kind of dream in life is still to succeed as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for Star Wars to ring me up and tell me that we need the next Han Solo. It's not happened yet, but you never know. But yeah, no, the dream is to, you know, I mean, you know, yeah, Marvel, anything where I could cross acting with being a geek is
Mm-hmm.
like kind of the dream.
Yeah.
I guess, obviously, maybe not a surprise, but the absolute dream would be if they ever made a live action Zelda thing to get a part in that. Hell, I'll even play Tingle. That's how like desperate I would be. Yeah, I'd stick with that onesie and I'd rock it.
Yeah.
If I could, you know, that would be like, I could die a happy man if I'd done something like that. But then at the same time, I kind of don't want them to make a live action Zelda, because I think I've got my own idea in my head of what Link looks like, what he sounds like, how he behaves. I feel like if I saw that in live action and if it wasn't what I have in mind, it just kind of like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, just like turn on the cartoon that they made.
Oh no, don't. Well, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll stay away from that. So yeah, maybe if they did a film, I could get behind a film set in the Zelda universe where Link maybe only made a cameo appearance and it was actually about a separate storyline that was happening in parallel. I could get behind that, like a sheep storyline. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope that Zelda Universe notices you next time.
That's it. I did. I mean, God, this is how much time I've got on my hands. I wrote a script for a Zelda fan film once, but I don't know how I'm ever going to make it because even for a short, like 3-minute film, it'd still need a lot of production. Because if I was going to do it, I'd want to do it right, and I don't know how to begin.
Yeah, you need like artists and a lot to make that happen.
Oh my God, they need to go away. I'm very sorry. I've muted them once. I don't know why, like, they're so persistent all of a sudden. This can be edited out, right?
We'll see.
Just show the world how bad I am at interviews.
Yeah, you gotta get the real Joe.
Revealed.
Exactly. So if Kirby were to gain your ability, what would it be?
Oh, okay. Do you know, I saw you ask Kylie this question. I thought, oh, I need to think of an answer. And I forgot. He would gain the ability to avoid combat by talking his way out of it. I think that's kind of like, I had a lot of enemies in secondary school or high school, but I managed to never get into a single fight because I could always just kind of like talk my way out of it.
Or so get like someone else to do the fighting for you.
Not even necessarily that, but just kind of make them not want to fight me by the end. So yeah, I feel like as a video game character, it would probably be a kind of a lame video game. But I think my Kirby power would be to get people to, like, the enemies would just kind of look at me. There'd be a little animation of them talking, and then the enemy would just kind of like let me pass.
Yeah.
I feel like that would work.
Like I don't know, like psychic powers or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or you could play it as like quick time events. So like you see them having this conversation and you've got to press the right button at the right time. And if you manage to get the sequence right, then the enemy will move for you. I think that would maybe be how it works.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever played Nier Automata, but they have like these like hacking sequences where they like go into a robot and like shoot all these things to like kill them or like unlock something. So sounds similar to that, or that's what I'm comparing it to.
Fair enough.
Okay, so now we're gonna go to the portion where I send you pictures.
Okay, I'll get my phone at the ready.
Yeah, so I'm gonna set it up on my end. Okay, so first picture is of a character that you should definitely recognize. Hold on.
Look. I'm gonna keep refreshing my phone. Aha! Link, my main man.
Yeah.
This one is from. Is it from Hyrule War? Where's this artwork from? Is it Super Smash Brothers?
Yeah.
It looks like Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it is.
So Link is my main in Smash Brothers, because obviously, and it always really winds my little brother up because he plays as Sonic or Pikachu, and I can OP him with Link all the time, and it really winds him up. But yeah.
Well, I am pretty good with Pikachu, so I will take you up someday.
Oh no, I'm not that good. The only reason I'm good at like against my little brother is because he's my little brother.
Okay. There.
Yeah, my main man, Link.
Okay, next picture is of a picture you took. Send.
Oh no.
This is the first one, right?
This is the first one. I think, I mean, I'd like to think that I've come a pretty long way since this first shot.
You look at those Photoshop glows.
Yeah, I was really going for it. Yeah, I think I didn't really know how to because I feel like I've developed my own kind of style over the past couple of years while I've been doing it, and it involves a much better depth of field.
Yeah.
Like at the moment, when I look at this, I'm just looking at the trees behind him instead of actually Link himself. So
Did you like enlarge them or something?
no, this is it. All I did on this picture was Photoshop out the stand, obviously, that it was
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
and then do the really really bad glowy effects.
Uh,
So embarrassing.
okay, so the next picture is one that I found on your personal Instagram. It's I would consider it toy photography, but you posted this. So you posted this Nendo picture March of 2019, but you posted this picture I'm about to show you in 2016. So I actually consider this your first toy photo.
I think I know which one this one might be. If it is the one I'm thinking. That is not what I was thinking. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that was I think that was actually the day before Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
What was
it
what did my
was.
voice do?
Yeah.
The day Pokemon Go came out in England. America got it first, as I recall.
Yeah.
And I'd seen Casey Neistat do a vlog about it, and he was dressed as Ash chasing a big a big Pikachu down the streets of New York. And I was basically trying to get on that Pokemon Go hype because everyone was
Yeah.
talking about it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That was definitely mentioned in the caption.
was it really? That's really bad. So yeah, this was me trying to cash in on that Pokemon Go hype.
Yeah, doing plush photos.
That's actually my brother's Pikachu. I may have borrowed it for this picture.
Okay, so next picture is of one of your most recent ones. We can like do a comparison of where you were and
Okay,
how you are now.
I'm nervous to see which one you've chosen.
I really like this one.
I was really happy with this one. I think I got the light. Well, I say I got the light right. I was lucky to get it just at the right time of night. There's a little bit of pink in the sky just behind because the sun was just setting. And I think I don't know. I don't know if it's because I now get lower down so that I'm on their level as well.
Yeah.
So they look more kind of because the whole point is figuratively living is a pun. So they are figures and they look like they're alive. So they're not literally alive, but they look like they are. So they're figuratively alive or figuratively living.
Yeah.
There's method in the madness. And yeah, with these ones now, because I get lower down onto their level, they look more like actual people having miniature adventures rather than just here's a link figure I've plonked into the forest. And
Right, because when you're taking pictures of people, you're on their level anyway.
that's it. Which often I always try to take pictures in the middle of the countryside or where there's nobody around. But there has been the odd occasion where I've been like in a public place and I've thought this picture's too good to miss. And so I'm laying like flat out on the ground.
Yeah.
Just getting all kinds of funny looks from strangers wondering what it is I'm taking a picture of. And then they see the little figure and they go, how old are you?
Yeah, I still haven't been able to get past that feeling. Like I went for a hike, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and I brought Pokemon figures with me, and I keep looking around to see if anyone's watching me.
It's yeah, I feel like this might sound really narcissistic, but the more followers I got, the easier it was to justify because I could be like, hey, look, people actually enjoy this. It's not just me being a weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of slowly but surely coming to embrace the fact that I am a geek and the world can kind of deal with it because if I enjoy it, then why should I bother
Right.
about what somebody else thinks?
Right.
But it is quite a hard mindset to get into, and every now and then you do kind of feel a bit weird about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next picture is of you.
Oh no.
Oh, hold on. I got it. Okay, I sent it.
Oh. Oh, it's awful.
Look at that tooth.
Tooth singular being the point here, not wow. So oh god, the tooth fairy was not kind to me. So yeah, this was before I got braces, and in fact, before my teeth even started coming through. When I was a kid, I must have been about 2 or 3 years old. I ended up having to go under general anesthetic and having like my teeth taken out. You know, my little baby teeth. Um, and then from that point on, my adult teeth didn't grow for till I was about maybe 9 or 10, which is when this picture was taken. And so I went for like my formative years just without any teeth, just a big gap where my two front teeth were. And then one of them came through and the other one didn't. And I had to have another operation to get the second one to come through.
Oh
But yeah, funnily enough as well, that green and brown t-shirt that I'm wearing is also the t-shirt that I wore for my audition for Tracy Baker.
well, there you go.
So it's my lucky t-shirt. I've still got it to this day because lucky t-shirt, can't bin it.
Okay, next picture. I forgot where I found this. Like, I looked through your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter doesn't have too much. This, okay. Just explain, please.
Sorry. Oh, my dad was trying to tell me some sort of like conspiracy theory, I think about the pyramids. Or something. I don't know what it was about. It was definitely a conspiracy theory. And so I was like, right, tinfoil hat time. So I made a hat out of tinfoil and I grabbed a pan and I was basically taking the mick out of my dad for trying to tell me this story. And yeah, I guess this kind of diametrically opposes what I was saying about my personal account trying to be all cool.
Everyone knows now.
Clearly failing in that endeavor. But yeah, that was a weird night.
Okay, so moving on.
Yes, move on quickly from that one. Bring the truth back, bring it back.
Next picture is of you in your Zelda getup, and is that what is that? Is that a castle? Is that real?
It's photoshopped. That was
disappointing.
Yeah, I would a castle was like that was close that close to my house. Yeah, this was basically. Do you know what it might have actually been? Do you know I was telling you that I wrote a Zelda fan film?
Yeah.
I think I took this picture when I had the initial idea for it. And then I was like, oh, hey, look, if anybody ever wants to make a Zelda film, I'm here. And it was basically me wanting to dress up as like, it's not like I wouldn't call it a full-on cosplay, but it's me kind of trying to evoke the imagery, if you will.
Have you ever done a full cosplay?
I tried, but I wasn't happy with how it looked, so I just kind of swiftly put it in the closet.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back to it because it's the kind of thing that I would love to do. I'd love to like go to a convention and just dress up.
Yeah, it's fun, but it costs so much.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think if I was, because I'm one of these people where if I do fancy dress or costumes or anything, I want to do it right. So I'll either go all out and try to get the best costume like that I possibly can, or just not bother. And at the moment, because of how tight funds are, I'd rather just not bother until I can like do it properly.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm sure you've seen like the pictures I've posted of myself trying.
Yeah, so cool.
But like I kind of go about it like I don't know if you've ever heard of like Disney bounding, but kind of similar, like taking clothing that like I'd wear in normal life. Obviously like the most recent one where I like painted my face, I would not do that. But like the pieces that I bought for that, like the hat, the jacket, like I would wear that in real life.
And to be fair, I'm guilty of Zelda bounding, I guess you would call it. Like there's plenty of times I'll wear just like a long white sleeve t-shirt with a green t-shirt over it. It's like, oh look, I'm Link for the day.
Yeah.
And it's like anyone who doesn't know wouldn't think twice about it. But anyone who kind of does, anyone who is a fan of Zelda would probably look at it and go, I see what you're doing. And that's kind of like a happy medium for me. Like I can walk around feeling like I'm kind of dressing up without having to like draw all the funny looks.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Next picture is of a scene.
Okay, let's have a look.
I think this is your last scene, or I don't know, your last episode, or am I wrong?
Yeah, I don't think it's my last scene, but it's definitely my last episode.
Mm.
Is this the point where I give you the rundown of the entire thing?
Well, I watched that part, so I know what happened, but like,
but yeah, essentially the reason that my character and my character's sister were in care is because our mother had like a boyfriend or like our stepdad basically abused our characters, and he was in prison by this throughout the majority of the series, so you never saw him. My final episode, he made parole and basically came back, and so before my character could leave to join the army, he was like, I need to sort all this problem out with my stepdad because I can't leave knowing that he's around. And so the entire episode was me or my character basically trying to figure out what to do about this evil stepdad.
yeah, but I feel like he did it, right?
I did, yeah. I say I did. My character did. But yeah, basically stood up to him, said, look, you're going to have to go away because if you don't go away, I'm not going away and I will make your life a living hell.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
So
that was the scene I watched. The thing I mentioned earlier about the top dramatic scenes from each season or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next picture is of a fluffy thing.
Oh, let's have a look. Oh, look at him. He's so majestic. Oh, so this is my dog Ryder. We've had him about a year and 3/4 by now. We got him in March 2020. And yeah, he's our little baby. He looks really majestic in this picture, but he's actually like the dopiest dog you've ever met. But he's so cute. He doesn't realize how big he is, so he still comes and like jumps all over you as if he was a little puppy.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize that he just crushes you now.
Sounds very similar to Kylie's dog.
Oh,
he looks very ferocious, and he's just a big teddy bear.
He is. Oh, that's my dog. Because where I work in a forest, and like visitors are always bringing their dogs, and it always makes me like really, like, even though I saw him this morning, I'll be there like, I miss my dog, even though I've like seen him about 3 hours ago. It's funny. I never used to be a massive dog person, and then we got Ryder, and all of that changed.
Next picture, and the last picture I have for you is of something that happened recently. It also features Ryder.
I think I know what this one might be. I mean, what do I say about that? I was like, if you could pinpoint like the happiest that you've been, that was up there.
Yeah.
My wife next to me, my dog in front of me, my family all just like waiting out short, waiting with drinks to celebrate. And funnily enough, the wedding was 2 days before restrictions were lifted. Lifted fully, I should say. So we were thankfully allowed our full amount of guests because they were lifted partially, but just not fully. We got married on the 17th of July, and then the restrictions were lifted fully on the 19th. But we still were okay because, I mean, you can see it was a gorgeous day. And dancing and stuff was still allowed outside because obviously it's harder to transmit the you-know-what outside. And because it was such a gorgeous day, we just spent the entire day outside anyway. So we were very lucky. But yeah, that's my wife, Courtney, there. She's gorgeous. And with my dog there as well. We had him in a little doggy tuxedo. I don't know if you can tell from the picture there. But yeah, he had his little doggy tuxedo on as well.
How long have you guys known each other?
We've known each other 4 years, just over 4 years. We've been engaged 2, and then we got married. It was a
I
proper.
will forgive you for not inviting me to your wedding, but
With international travel being the way it is, it would have been a
yeah.
bit tricky. But you never know. If we renew our vows at any point in time, you'll definitely be on the list.
Okay. Okay, that's all the pictures I have for you. And now we can go into let's bring me back. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Um Pictures, not pictures. Questions that I received on Twitter and Instagram. You probably saw them. Maybe you didn't. No, I don't think
I
you did.
don't think I very rarely go on Twitter, so I don't know whereabouts the questions were. But yeah, I probably haven't seen.
So first question, what was it like? So 3 out of 4 of these are like about the show. What was it like when you first got the role of Johnny Taylor?
Oh, okay. Do you know, for all the questions that I've always had about the show, I've not actually had this one very often. So for context, I was 12 years old when I got the part. I had 3 rounds of auditions. So I went to Manchester for the first audition, had a coughing fit halfway through the scene, thought, I've blown that, never going to happen. Got a call back anyway. So I went through 2 more rounds of auditions and then didn't hear anything for like 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, so I guess all that was for nothing. And then I came home from school one day, and it's really weird because we had the entire family round, which like very, very rarely happens. And I didn't think twice about it. So I was just there playing with my cousins, playing with my brothers. We were all running around, going crazy. And like I said, didn't think twice about the fact that everyone was there until my dad called me over and got me to stand on the sofa. So I was like eye level with him. And he said, "So your agent's been on the phone with me today, Joe, about the Tracy Baker audition." And I just kind of like, and it sounds cliche, but I felt like I'd swallowed a cannonball. Like I could feel my heart racing. And then my dad, joker that he is, said, "It's bad news." And I just
Oh.
kind of thought, oh, God, in front of everyone. And he said, "So the bad news is that you're gonna have to go away over the summer holidays because you're gonna be filming." And yeah, I just broke down. I think I jumped into his arms like koala beared my way around him, and just started crying like
Oh.
absolute baby tears. And then yeah, once I got over that initial shock, I was just like on top of the world. It was great.
Second question, you kind of already answered how you got into acting, so we'll move past that one. Do you keep in touch with any of the cast?
I do, yeah. So Chris is one of the other actors from the show. He played a character called Frank, and he was one of the groomsmen at my wedding. So he was there. He was kind of like helping out with all the bits and bobs. And I also speak to a fair few of the others. We have this big group chat that kind of like everyone is in, but in all honesty, we don't go in it that often. It's mainly just when it's somebody's birthday, we kind of
Yeah.
pop in there and say happy birthday to that person and then disappear until the next person. um, but yeah, there's a few of them that I keep in touch with more than others. There's some who, when they left, we just never heard from again, and then there's others that I keep in touch with like on a regular basis. So it's just kind of like a mixture of all sorts.
Any of them as nerdy as you?
If they are, they do a better job of hiding it than I do. I'll give them that. The girl that played my sister in the show, who was on one of the screenshots that you just showed me, she had a very small part in the Witcher series on Netflix, and she
Oh.
got to scene with Henry Cavill. And I don't think she realizes quite how jealous I was of her at that point.
Oh.
But yeah, I was like, so you were stood next to Superman on the Witcher series, and she was just like, oh, it's no big deal. I was only in it for one scene. I was like, one scene? I'm killed for one scene with Henry Cavill. But yeah.
Last one, which isn't actually a question, but they just told me to tell you how awesome you are.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. I'll have to pay them later for saying that.
Yeah. So that's all I really have for you. Thanks for talking with me today or tonight, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we'll go with today. It's still early. I still need to finish off my my little resin sculpture there. So
Yeah.
got a lot to do tonight.
Well,
But yeah, thank you for having me on. I was honestly really flattered to be considered like for the same series as Kylie and the other person whose name currently escapes me.
Oh no. Yeah. That was Ray. He's not really a. I mean, he. Did you watch that one?
Not got around to that one yet. I listen to them as podcasts when I drive to work.
Yeah.
It's like an hour-long drive for me to get there, so I just kind of put them on and listen.
He's not like, I wouldn't consider him as a toy photographer, but he had an account where he posted pictures of toys. So I don't know. Maybe you can like convince him to get back to it.
Get on there. It's like, hey, come back.
Yeah. I've enjoyed getting to know you through Instagram and seeing your growth with photography. I'm glad we connected, and I'm excited to see what you do in the future. So go ahead.
I was saying I'm hoping to incorporate even more sculptures into my photography and get better at that as well.
Yeah.
So I can maybe mix the two. That's a sneak peek. But yeah,
So
thank you for having me on.
yeah, no problem. I'm gonna put links down in the description where people can find you on the internet and all that. That's it. That's really it. We're gonna say bye now.
Okay. Do you say bye first or do I say bye first?
I mean, we can say bye together. It's no big deal. I already did the subscribe, like, do all that, please. Go ahead. Wave goodbye. Bye.
Everyone.